Hey, Professor Harper. I wanted to say a few things before the class ends. I know that this is our last day of class, technically. Um, I wanted to thank you for this semester in government. Your opinion on government, religion, and other topics really opened my mind to several different things that I really would not have thought about. Um, and with our last discussion on Thursday about religion and how it's kind of like the basis of a lot of our country, Sharia law, and many aspects that we kind of take account in our government today, is something I'm looking forward to talking in future with you. I have added you on LinkedIn, so that way I could not only get the bonus points, but I could also contact you to possibly meet up at the Chick-fil-A by the school to talk about these subjects in further detail, because I know you have some great information that I know you could probably give. Talking about a few aspects from the class, because this is my first online class, and this is my first WebEx class. I wanted to take a moment to also talk about that. I like the discussion board postings, and it was nice to see the ideals of my peers being in different aspects of government, how it affects your day-to-day life, not only state but federally. I liked the Padlets. They were a different spin on assignments for me. I usually don't have a lot of online assignments. For us to read about something and then make a project through Quizlet or any other media source that you hadn't prepared was great. It definitely was a change of pace, and I had to discipline myself to get the right criteria for you. And I like the style of the class. I liked that we met Tuesday and Thursday from 6 to 9 o'clock, and you were able to stay late to answer any questions that we had. The quizzes online and just the overall assignment was great to basically be able to sit at home, lay in my bed, and kind of listen to class without the stress or pressure of making it on time due to traffic or other social constraints. It was nice, and you made the class very interesting. I've never taken a government or history class where I didn't want to fall asleep. I don't want to sound like a know-it-all, but I'm usually very good at the subject, so I normally don't really pay attention, or I'm not nearly as involved. But as you saw throughout the 8-week semester, you saw that I was engaging. I even was a part of the debates that we held in class. And it's going to be kind of different not having you in this class anymore. But like I said earlier, I really hope that we can still meet up and talk about other subjects, continuing government, but also about religion and other news that happens in our world. When it comes to points, I added you on LinkedIn, so you said that was 10 points, and the 2 quizzes was 20. I wanted to add 10 points to Project 5. I wanted to add 10 points to Presentation 1. And the final 10 basically can go wherever you deem as fit. I'm really trying to make sure I have an A in this class, and I really don't know where else to put it. Most of the other grades were good, and not much of a gap in the potential grade percentage. Now, going into the video discussion, or the video submission about Israel recognizing and coping with tensions with a special ally. I thought it was very interesting. I learned a few points. For one, I didn't understand why we loved Israel so much. Israel, I know, is in the Middle East, and I feel like why we protect them so much, because we protect them against other countries in the Middle East, but I feel like we are an ally with them because it gives us kind of a stronghold in the Middle East, gives us an ally, and something that we don't have. Most Middle Eastern countries do not like us. They wish, death upon the Western world, especially us, because of our ideals and the way that we carry ourselves. Second was, I disagreed with the Palestinians' claim on the West Bank and the right to return. I don't believe you can just claim land out of nowhere to say it's yours again. And I also do not believe that the right of return is fair. I do understand that it was once part of Palestine, but they did flee with the emergence of Israel, and Israel itself now lays claim to the land. So there's the government system, there's the immigration system. If you want to come back over and go to those lands, you need to become an Israeli citizen. I agreed that Israel and Palestine need to put their differences aside. I feel like it would benefit the both Middle Eastern countries, and possibly could have some effects on their societies, not only religion but politically and socially, but potentially could help the different countries in the Middle East, so there wouldn't be such a religious uproar and land claim. I believe, and I finally understood some of the attitudes on Muslim Americans, but I also kind of have my own opinion on it. I believe at some point Muslim Americans will be accepted here in our society, but with the continued feuds between Israel and Palestine, and the terroristic groups that have kind of laid claim over the areas and have such a death wish upon Americans, it's hard for Americans to truly not have a bias to them. It's different than a bias to African Americans or to Hispanic Americans or Asian Americans. These walks of life all come here and are just like regular Americans. They do have their own cultures and they do have their own ideals, but their countries are not wishing death upon us or wishing ill upon us. That's the difference between them and the Muslim Americans. And not all Muslims are terrible people, but there are Muslims and people of the Islam faith who have such negative feelings towards us, so that is why we have our bias. But then again, I want to thank you for this class, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.